Alright, I think we're ready to get into round 2, so quickly we'll introduce Lee's deck first before we switch to the main stream. So you've got Lee here, Lee Powell, everyone knows him in the UK group. He's currently playing Konosuba this time. Any comments you have to make, Chris?
Nothing much, it's a pretty standard list. The only thing I'm looking forward to seeing is get that one copy of the gate for the climax combo with the Union Mega Man. That could, if he manages to get that at the right time, I think that's just going to win the game for him. Whether he sees it or not, though, is another matter, with it just being at the one.
Yeah. So I think this is a very good deck for Lee to be playing. He's a very technical player. I think it's, you know, I've seen this deck being played a lot, and a lot of the criticisms of it are that, you know, it's very, let's say, haphazard in how it plays. But I think, you know, if it's Lee, he could probably make use out of it. Let's have a quick look at Jamie's list. He's playing Madoka with the new pieces, obviously. It's a very interesting choice. He's going for the choice combo rather than the stock or the standby combo. And let's see how that works out for him.
Yeah, it's I don't really know too much about the new Madoka stuff as such, but it's quite nice to see that it's got so many options open to it compared to the sort of old standard builds of just 8 in books.
Alright, so I think without further ado, we'll get into it. Let's switch over and we'll tell them they can begin.
Second.
Lee is going second, I think.
I think
I
so.
remember what one of the Kaguya starting markers is which.
Issue 3. Okay, good luck. Draw.
So looking at Jamie's deck list a little bit closer here, his is a lot more focused on the late game compared to like the red build, and I think that might work against him, because one thing about Konosuba is that Konosuba is very, very good at just ending the game out of nowhere.
Definitely. The ability has just, between the utility of things like the full closure event, as well as the Aqua that can just put cards back into deck, excluding climaxes from waiting room.
So one interesting about Lee's list that we didn't talk about before at the beginning is that he's not playing the on attack burn 5 Mega Man. He's instead opting for the veneer and to lean more into the Union level 3 combo.
Oh yeah, of course. That's fine.
So I think it'll be interesting to see how that plays into Jamie's decisions to leave spaces open or commit more to the board early. Because again, like we had in the previous matchup, because Lee's playing a very uninteractive combo, it's up to Jamie to decide how he wants whether or not he wants to force Lee to play into him.
Cancel 3.
Definitely. He's going on a bit of an aggression here at the beginning.
6.
I think he's quite right to do, going by the way that the discards have been. There's been no climaxes for either of them, so they've either got a fair few in hand or maybe just the one, but it's probably they're already set up for their level 1s going in.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So the main thing here is that if Lee is continuing to commit this early pressure, it's a little bit harder for him to recoup that effectively because he's not playing the resonance engine. So he's relying on things like the brainstorms and the level 0 darkness to
a little bit more obvious.
rebuild his board.
Once he hits level 1, he should be fine because he's got his level 1 combo is basically identical to the one we just saw in Saikano.
Mm-hmm.
To also work to his advantage, it will deny GD's on reverse combo
Yeah.
in the choice.
Yep. Yep, cool.
And even more for the aggression here if he's going to drop the gate. She's not going to.
Mm-hmm. My apologies to the stream. Lee's audio is even quieter than I thought it would be. I'm turning him up just a little bit.
That's fine. Yeah, so because I reset the camera, so. What are we looking at power-wise?
1-5 and a 2.
Should be an easy field for Madoka to clear.
Okay.
Yeah, although we've already seen one copy of his beat stick, and I think he cancelled the Ricky as well.
Yeah, he might also be lacking level 0s by the fact he double fielded the brainstorm right at the beginning.
Which is a shame because Ricky would have been a really ideal play right now.
Yeah. I think ideally here he wants to search out not his level 1 combo but instead the level 1 Ashio. Just to try and deny the combo so much from Lee.
Yeah, for sure. But if he's abandoning his level 1 combo, it's going to be a lot harder for him to stay even on board, especially now that he's lost 2 Brainstorm.
Definitely.
Yeah, hand on core and on attack, give 1-5. Yes.
Lee should level up this turn.
Mm-hmm.
That's front center block.
One's up.
That's front power to self, 1.
Yep.
2 and a shot.
2 is up.
Yours.
Level up. Okay. Level red.
I think the other big takeaway here as well is that they've both had time to like set up for level 1, and the only downside is that it's the more time Lee has to set up for level 1, the better it is for him because his initial selection is much worse going into the first deck.
Yep.
Yeah, I think JD here either he's got a perfect hand for his level 1 game, or he's just struggling so much by the fact that he searched out the level 0 that turn with the drop searcher.
Search my deck for an adventurer.
Yep.
Which I will do. Get this.
Yep.
So it'll be curious to see whether or not Lee's able to set up double combo here or not. Because if not, I think we can expect Jamie to level up, and that'll in turn let Jamie get his combo off.
3.
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
2, 3, 1. Thank you.
I think Lee's got the climax at least for the combo,
On play.
if he's going to play it.
Discard a climax.
It's
Yep.
not bad.
Get the
There's
game.
climax. Sorry.
Yep.
Not too surprising.
So he has one combo at least.
Play Megamin.
So I think the hope here is that because Jamie didn't have much,
Yep.
that he didn't have that smoother level 0 game, he might not have combo at this point.
Yeah.
Gates. I'll give
The fact that Mega Man's going to deny the combo as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
the 1k can go there as well. Direct. For 3.
So yeah, one of the things that we saw last game is that when Callum spent that turn not going for the level 1 Megami combo, it let Liam set up one copy of that Ishtar level 1 reverser, which
This is your
pressured Callum into using
it's
combo
frozen.
or
No,
not.
That's stuck and I leveled up a Jaune.
Whereas
Oh, okay, I'll come
now,
back at it. Sorry.
because-
I don't know why that's frozen.
because Jamie hasn't, it's much harder for him to
My phone.
it's much harder for him to like make that threat on the board. Oh, I think we have some technical difficulties coming in from Jamie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jamie's
I'm not entirely sure why.
setup, I think, ideally for that would have
Setups
been
working fine
to get the
here.
get
You can hear
the
me.
names
right?
are not the
I
best.
can hear you.
The
I just can't see the,
Yachio
At least,
Bloom
at least
early,
my hand is in the-
ideally of leveling first,
Yeah,
Come on,
just to
can you-
try and deny the combo.
yep. So it seems
you know
like
what, should I just quickly reconnect? Will that be quicker? Do you think?
yeah, it seems like Jamie's stream is frozen. So we're just going to go to quick. We have this judge call screen that we're going to quickly transition to for technical difficulties. We'll be back with the games once they're all set up. So bear with us just a moment, folks.
There we go. Okay.
There we go.
There we go.
Is
Okay,
is
we're
it
back.
working now?
Yep, it's all good.
I have no idea what happened. I'm sorry. Yeah,
That's
it was 2 Jaunes and this Ricky, so I leveled up the Jaune, and then
Cool.
the Ricky's over. So
It's
So you
all
took
good.
that damage.
Yeah.
Right. I'm gonna front here next. I won't double trigger.
okay.
Lee is triggering a lot of climaxes though, so there is the chance that if, like we said, if Jamie decides to play vanilla Weiss going into this,
Yep.
then it'll be a little
It's
bit.
it's a
Oof.
lot better
Was it?
position for it.
Yeah, well,
Just
not that he
for
just
that.
8-4. That's a much bit harder. But again, it should be theoretically easier because Lee doesn't have.
And then I'll front.
Konosuba's compression game isn't as strong.
Yeah.
That's for 2.
Like, Lee's not generating like tons of memory going into the late game.
The fact that you triggered the pants climax there and couldn't recover a gate also hurts.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
have a hand-on call with.
It gives him a little bit of time to maybe find some other pieces. So the problem is now that even if he feels the Yachios, they're not going to do anything anymore because they're no longer threatening the Megamis because Lee doesn't have a combo next turn, he can just bounce them now.
Yep.
And so he's down on advantage, and I think he just needs to find a way to even up the damage efficiency. Which I think is very doable, given that Lee's just gone through 3 climaxes this time.
Yeah, even if he could just get one of his level 1 combo off, I think he's definitely in a good spot.
Mhm.
That's going to thin down his deck a fair bit.
Yeah.
Considering he's just discarded the climax combo for the level 1, I would assume he's got another copy of it in
Alright.
hand.
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't mention these have bounce back as well.
Sorry, drop
This is-
search and then
Yeah.
search
I know.
for Felicia.
You know about the bounce back on these two, don't you?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
they're basically the Psychonic card, right?
Yeah. I just thought I'd double check since I didn't mention it.
searches the early play. He's
Mhm.
obviously
What's the condition on that again? 2 or less
it's just pure-
climaxes.
pure climaxes, yeah.
Yeah. I think that'll be very important in this
Don't have any
matchup
Jason
because it also it contests the Aqua early play, which I think is the main thing here.
Yep.
Am I right in thinking that the whatever her name is, level 1 combo doesn't actually get defensive power?
Yes, you're correct.
Yeah, so it's going to be even.
It's
So
only during turn.
yeah, so unlike with Fate Grand Order, Jamie's actually going to struggle to keep a field in this matchup. We see
Yeah,
one
so there's
combo,
the-
and we see the Yachio, which is
Bottom deck, bottom.
it's not awful.
Double trigger.
The only problem is that by playing it now, he gives Lee the option to play around it rather than forcing Lee to play into it.
I could see him using the twin drive effect here just to try and get
Yes, it is.
damage
Yeah,
pushed through.
okay.
3, 4.
That's front power here, too.
Yep, I won't bounce. Cancel on 2.
No, sorry, I'm just deciding what I. Sorry, yeah. Let's go here first. I don't think it actually matters, but. Front 2.
Yep, 2 sticks.
On the salvage. I'm gonna salvage this.
So just a brainstorm, yeah, it's
And then
pretty
we'll
understandable.
Yep.
Top check.
Yeah,
Character.
see
add.
what he gets. Gets another copy of the level 1s.
It might be useful going to next turn if Lee can't field triple combo.
This is a front.
I think
Sorry,
the
yeah,
issue we
front.
have though is he only plays 2 copies of
Pay
the
one.
choice for the combo.
This
Yeah.
is currently 3.
And we saw him discard one
Three.
right at the beginning of turn.
Hmm.
So,
Ditch a Felicia for this again.
yep.
Go.
I don't think he has a. He doesn't have a climax swapper, does he?
I don't believe it does, no.
Hmm.
Quick look at his listing just in case we're missing it. Yeah, there's definitely not a client swapper in.
I won't clock.
Okay.
I'll brainstorm.
Sure.
2, 3, 4. Take this.
A nice brainstorm
go
actually
again.
to hit for.
Yep.
Hmm.
Pay the 1. Drop the gate. Hit the other gate.
Hit the other gate.
Yeah, so now Lee's definitely gonna have the double combo, which is gonna be pretty major. And this is what I said, right? He now has the darkness, which can force the trade with the Yachio,
Okay, yeah.
so the Yachio is no longer dealing with the Mega Man.
It looks like he's only got 2 cards in deck, so it looks like this gate won't go back in, but I don't think Lee will be that bothered about that.
I don't think he minds, especially like
Pay the gate.
he's ahead enough on damage and cards that I think he can still afford to be greedy and chase the twin drive.
I haven't given it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought
just
you.
decided.
Yeah.
Although Jamie looks to be pretty low on deck as well, so I think they're both pretty good in terms of compression. Somehow they managed to even it out. The only difference being that I think Lee has a few more cards in hand than Jamie does.
Soul on the 1K to
Yeah,
the
I think Jamie's
bonus of it.
definitely guaranteed to
Yeah.
get the early play though next turn.
Then I will crash.
Yep.
No, not crash, sorry. It's 2, 3, 4K, isn't it?
It's bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 1, 2, 3.
I think Jamie here would decide not to bottom deck just to force the refresh.
Absolutely.
Going back.
7.
7.
If he bottom decks, then Lee can just choose to twin drive.
So it's 7 going back in for Jamie.
I triggered a mess, that's for 4, because I gave it the soul one as well.
Yep. Let me just sort that. 1, 2, 3.
2, 1, 3.
2, 1, 3. 2, 3. Cancel on 3. Refresh.
I think he needs blue.
But Ricky.
Yeah.
Bottom
Would
deck.
you like to bomb deck? Yeah.
Ideally, he wants
Oh,
to.
he chooses to
at
bomb
least-
deck. Interesting.
May as well.
I mean, ideally, he wants to eat the next amount of damage,
Front.
just to
Yeah.
try and confirm he's only got the 2 in the waiting room.
Oh, actually, wait. Yeah, no. Lee had a third con. Right, that was the third contact. So yeah, Lee could actually just.
Yeah.
So that now lets Lee refresh with 8, which is not ideal.
Yep.
Oof. No cancels here either. That's really unfortunate.
Encores and yours.
And he's not got the Sayaka from the original set to try and even provide
No encore.
the Yoshiko for with hand encore.
Yeah. Yeah. And if he does chase the early play now, it'll be even worse for his compression when he refreshes.
No clock.
Okay.
Because he's definitely not comboing. So all those,
Oh,
yeah, that massive ratio in his waiting room is staying there forever.
Felicia.
Okay, so he chases the heal. How much power does that thing get again?
It's 1k for every other during turn.
Every other back
Or
row.
every back row.
Yeah, so it's 11 defensive, 11-5 with the back row.
Go big.
Yeah, these are 11. Yeah.
Oh no, that's a different back row. What does that one do? That goes to stock. And... Right, and it's a mill. Okay.
We'll front for 2.
So yeah, so he's just playing it just for the 1k on this early play. So 11 is actually not... I don't think 11 is very relevant. I think Lee can definitely get over 11.
Yeah, especially with how easy his early play condition is as well.
Yeah.
At least, Jamie here's getting a wee bit more stock generation.
I'll put early play healer into stock.
Okay.
That will follow.
And that's at least not his combo choice.
And I gotta
It's his blank
Yeah,
choice.
I'll wait for you, sir.
Or like climax
Yep.
is going back.
Yeah, going to 8. Yep.
Not that his combo's really doing much for him now in this game.
Yeah.
I can't really see how many cards Jamie's got in hand, but I would assume it's not a lot, so I think even on the following turn, Lee is pretty safe to play his early play
3.
We'll go 3, 2, 1.
without fear of an anti-change.
Yeah.
Cancel.
I mean, even if it gets anti-changed as well, like, he doesn't mind if it gets anti-changed because it's only getting power during his turn. So once it heals the stock, it's kind of done its job.
Cancel.
Especially because, Lee can always fall back on the 1-0 Megamins, whereas Jamie doesn't have as much...
Cancel.
Like, he has less cards that he has the option to feel on the board. And I think Lee can even early play the Union at this point as well, actually.
Yeah, he's cancelled twice, so I think so, yeah, maybe.
Not gonna lie, I'm not particularly displeased with that.
The only downside is that the Union can't trade, or... Yeah, the Union needs a climax to trade with his level 3. So he hits the Brainstorm, so he can no longer play the Union. I think that's good for Jamie. It means his board is probably surviving this time.
Yeah, I mean, I think the board was pretty safe when Lee didn't level up.
Yeah. I mean, Lee can still level up. He has the Darkness back row.
Oh yeah, the A1 clock one, search one, right?
Yeah, it's just now no longer worth it for him to do so.
Take the drop search.
Yeah, it's fine.
So I think maybe what Lee might be trying to do is search for the 1/1 Kazuma that anti-changes. I think it's a tempo minus play, but I think he can afford to do so given the lead he currently has.
Yeah. Just diminishes the hand even more for...
Exactly. Because even then, like, he's only -1 stock overall. He pays 1 for this, and then pays 1 for the Kazuma, and then gets his drive checks again.
0 Kazuma.
Yeah, sure.
And so he still has a stock advantage over Jamie.
Take Aqua.
Yeah, sure.
Searching the early play
Can you just
Aqua.
remind me?
4 or more characters on board early play.
Yep.
During my turn, it gets 2k, and
Yep.
on play, discard a card, heal to stock.
Oh, okay, yeah, cool.
If I remember correctly, I think he triggered both of his foreclosure events really early.
1, 2, 3.
So I don't think he has
2, 3, 1.
that to fall on. So if Jamie can build a bit of stock, I think it's pretty safe at this point in time.
Yep.
Play the anti-change stock bomb.
Yeah, that's
So yeah, so he fields that. So he clears one of them. I don't think he can clear both.
How many cards are in your hand?
Yeah, he's only playing 1 copy of the anti-change
Two.
Kazuma, so...
2.
Yeah.
I'll just throw one Omega Min over there.
yeah, why not?
I'll front the Kazuma first.
Yep.
Go on.
That said, I don't think Foreclosure does a huge deal in this matchup, because
Top card of stock goes to bin.
Jamie doesn't have that much compression, and his finishing combo doesn't require stock either.
I'll crash in.
So
over here.
the Foreclosure would only really be valuable if you can
Yep.
combo it into the Fumio on top.
One.
And then front for 1.
One's on.
And then your turn.
Stand draw.
But this is a chance for Jamie to equalize on damage, although as we've said, Lee has some pretty good compression going on. And most importantly, you know, despite having just committed 3 cards to the board, 2 which are gone, Lee's still got quite a healthy hand. So I think it's going to take a lot of... It's going to be a lot of work for Jamie to catch up here.
Let's brainstorm, shall we? Hit 2.
It's a pretty good
Getting two
brainstorm.
off at that. It's nice, but I think you'd rather have just missed them entirely.
Maybe? I think we didn't see Jamie cancel that turn, did we?
Uh,
I think he may have cancelled once or twice,
he
but
cancelled once, yeah.
yeah.
So I think that puts him at 5 out now.
5.
Isn't the worst.
I think it's fine. He has enough milling tools to get there.
Yeah, I think he's just got to hope
6 in
now,
deck.
really, for a return swing like Lee had the turn before.
Yep. I mean, if he was able to field a combo here, this would be ideal.
Am I missing?
But I think that level 0 that he's getting isn't bad either. So if I'm reading this effect correctly,
Let's take drop, search, and early play.
yeah, so the 0 in his back row can go to stock, and then that clears, that helps him rebuild a little bit of compression.
Yeah.
Let's search.
I think Jamie's main goal for this turn is to just try to refresh with 8 going back in, which I think is very easy for him to do.
1, 2, 3.
3, 2, 1.
Let's send.
I don't think he's actually playing any of the targets for the put into stock effect.
Let's top check.
No, he's not.
Bomb.
It's just there to help him get through his deck, which is fine. Oh,
Surprised he's not
interesting.
played one up. Yeah.
Hit one.
There's 6. If he has a way of paying out one more stock, then he at least compresses decently going into the next refresh. That next one should be a climax on his stock.
Mm-hmm. No, I think it's his bottom card because he got stop bomb anti changed.
So he did, yep.
So I think that one's gone.
Exactly how I want to do this.
But I think his deck is thin enough that it shouldn't matter. And like, you know, he's hitting brainstorms, so all the cards that he's dropping to brainstorm it's kind of refunding itself, especially the 0 that goes to stop. So he maintains like, rather than playing over cards to brainstorm again, he gets to like maintain compression.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
His hand's looking a lot healthier than it did at the beginning of the turn now.
Yeah. I think the only downside is that it's going to be quite hard for him to recoup that damage differential.
Yeah.
Send. Not ideal, but
Sounds like he doesn't have the climax.
okay.
Oh, he does. Okay.
Have you got? Is it 7?
Yeah, but he's not going to get the
climaxes in
combo, unfortunately.
7 in bin, yep.
bin? Yeah. Okay.
Right, because he's one card deck, he's not going to. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, because he needs to reverse as well.
Yeah. I mean, you get one reverse
We're gonna
because Lee didn't combo on the middle Mega Man.
3.
But yeah, it's more a case of he has no waiting room to refresh with. But I think this is fine just for forcing damage through.
Yeah, especially if this 4 sticks, then I think he's in a much better place than he was.
2, 1.
3, 1, 2.
3, 1,
Yeah.
2. There you go.
I'm just not sure this 4 will stick because Lee's also
Yeah.
quite well compressed.
And then,
Yeah.
Do I go there first? No, let's go here first for 2. 3.
Because you definitely have to
Right.
assume that Lee has the early play in hand.
Yeah, it's cancelled. Front for 2. 2.
Oh, it's a big triple cancel.
I go to
Um,
reverse.
I'll pay.
Yep.
Add this.
Yep.
Yours.
Stand. Draw. How many cards are in your hand now?
3.
Okay. That's interesting. 1, 2, 3.
So Lee definitely has the potential to contest board here if he has early play Aqua. We know he has at least one Mega Man still in hand for the combo if he has that as well.
Yeah, he searched the early play Aqua earlier as well.
Yeah. So he definitely has all the pieces he needs to get going. I think the question is, how does he do so while maintaining compression?
Yeah, because I think he's now a fair amount out that he wants to go through his deck a wee bit.
No clock.
Hmm,
Brainstorm.
Yeah, sure.
that's totally fair.
Especially the fact that he cancelled on the first card twice that turn.
Yeah. Although at the same time, I'd be tempted to say that maybe he doesn't need to do that. Maybe he just needs, like, you know, he's had 2 turns of triple cancel now. I think it's fine if he, you know, like, lets go a bit and just forces damage through.
Yeah, I can see that, especially with the fact that Jamie's going to be level 3 going into his turn.
Exactly. And with only 5 stock, and you know that he's used 2 copies of the level 0 that goes into stock, I think there's no way that Jamie can put forward triple combo either. So the best Jamie can do going into next turn would be, say, double combo into 3-1 event, which isn't really that threatening as far as Lee is concerned.
Yeah. Didn't quite see how many climaxes were in Lee's discard there when he was flicking through, did you?
I think he had
Yeah,
6.
sure.
Assume he's got one in hand as well.
Seems like it, no.
Now I'm on.
One's on.
Yeah, this is a very low tempo turn for Lee, but again, I think it's fine because he's got such a damage lead. It doesn't really matter. Like he's under no threat from Jamie at the moment.
Crash for 1.
One's on.
Crash for 1 and a salvage.
One's on.
And I will salvage. I'll get me early play union.
Yeah, sure.
There's the union spell.
Mm-hmm.
Your turn.
So yeah, the fact that Lee didn't greed for the clock here for like the early play board presence means that he gets to, you know, maintain that damage lead in exchange for compression.
Yep.
In exchange for not having the board, which is totally fine because he has what, 1, 2, 3. He has 9 stock at the moment, which is enough for. Yeah, he can go.
Oh, sorry.
He can play the healer
So I have to.
and the aqua combo quite safely.
He also should have the option quite easily to get that Mega Moon back that's in his clock
Yep.
in time.
Hit 1.
His brainstorms are really coming up.
Unfortunately, the card that he really needs right now is the event, which he cannot brainstorm for. Because anything that Jamie plays now, he now has to be very much respect the threat of both early plays.
Play over.
Yep.
Actually, these level 3s are just not going to cut it on that board presence.
Yeah.
7 back.
Sure.
And at this point, even though Jamie's been hitting brainstorms, Lee's still got the healthier hand, so I think he's totally fine to just let this Mega Man die and then just slam early plays.
Every time.
Yeah,
Yep.
my deck wanted to cancel today.
This
Yep.
Yep.
Deck for 2.
2 sticks. Hey, damn it.
Hey, I did it! That's a win in my book.
finally some damage through from Jamie.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yep.
Front
Have
for 2.
comboed, so cancelled.
Yours.
That's quite unfortunate. That's now perfect position for Lee to heal down to 2-0.
How many went to bin? 2. Cool.
So we're probably going to see Union, Aqua,
3.
Body.
3. I'll clock the 1-1.
Yeah, sure.
I think there's no need for Lee to be greedy here. He's just got such a lead now, he can just run away with it. I think all he has to do now is try and set up the climaxes for his level 3 combo if he ever gets there.
He doesn't even need to put that much effort into that. He's running 2 copies of the climax swapper.
Mhm.
Yep.
So there's the first one.
Yep.
There's 3 in there. If I've got 2 others, she is a 10-5 character encore.
Yep.
I'll move this up.
So he does need to play one more card to turn on the Aqua early play.
Play this to the back.
There it is.
Yeah, sure.
2k in front to level 3s.
Yep.
I can rest her to give one of my characters. When it reverses its battle opponent, I can put it on the bottom of the deck.
Okay.
So if he goes for the Aqua early play, it'll end his turn with 8 stock, which is exactly what he needs to use double Aqua level 3 combo.
The, 1 Omega Min.
Yeah, sure.
Stock. And then I'll brainstorm.
He also has the option now to bottom deck kick the
Salvage one.
3-2 to try and prevent it being replayed by a brainstorm.
Hmm.
Let's think. 11, 12, 14.
Obviously the only concern is that if he does that, I don't think Jamie's going to go through the deck fast enough.
13k.
13, okay.
So I think it's also going to mess up his level 3 Aqua's numbers. But again, we're assuming that Lee even gets to level 3, which at this point I feel like might not happen.
And how many cards did say I didn't hand again, sorry?
What was that, sorry?
Cards in hand again, sorry?
Just 3.
Just 3. Okay.
It would build up to the
Well,
level 3
3K,
Aqua slightly better, I think,
backup.
Yeah, sure.
the bottom deck kick.
Mhm.
If he does it this turn, and he can do it again next turn before attacking with the level 3 Aqua if he hits level 3. But going by the way that these games going, I doubt that he's hitting level 3 next turn.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so he just burns the pants now just to force the damage through.
I'll give 1k down the middle.
If one of these sticks, then
It's pretty bad, yeah.
yeah.
And,
It's not even that dangerous for Lee's endgame because his compression is still ideal.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That's 4.
3, sorry.
Cancel 3.
Oh yeah, it doesn't have a soul icon there.
Mhm.
Event.
11, 13. Front for 15. 3 and a salvage.
So this is exactly what Jamie wants to see here.
Yep.
Lee triggering into
Well,
cancels.
cancel one.
Perfect.
Okay.
Will he grab the Mega Man
And a
potentially
salvage
for the
one.
level 3 combo?
Yeah, sure.
I don't
Yeah, it
think
was
so.
like Climax Fixer.
Yeah.
I'll run into this.
Oof.
Salvage.
So I think in this position now, I'd start chasing the level 3 Aqua combo.
Yeah. I don't think this is as bad as it was in the last game,
No.
Yeah, sure.
but it's still
How many in bin?
not ideal for Lee.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
He's 7 out.
Okay.
Hmm. Well, the deck is fairly chunky still, so I just don't know if Jamie has enough damage output here is the only other concern.
Sadly, I think that Madoka just isn't really a deck that suits well in the current environment with non-reverse combos and healing not being as strong as it used to be.
Hmm.
Hit 1.
Again, these brainstorms are good, but they're just not finding him what he needs. I think the other problem as well is that his combo only heals on cancel. Yeah, it doesn't force damage through. It's very nickel and dime sort of grind style, which is not ideal against Konosuba because they can just rocket you from 3-0 to dead instantly.
Yep. Especially with the way the damage on the Aqua actually works.
Just play over.
Yep.
How big is the Aqua now?
11k and 12.5.
Okay, 12.5.
Yeah, he can't contest the Union safely.
Let's front also with 11k.
Yep.
For 2.
I think he may have forgotten to swap the Sayaka position in the back row though. Not that I think it makes a difference.
It's
Yep.
very little in the long run, I think here. That's going to matter.
Direct for 3. 4 in a shot.
1, 2, cancel. Shot sticks.
Yeah, so he's at least forcing damage through, but
And I will.
This is now
trigger
just clean
twice,
damage.
And
Yep.
I'm going to front.
And the twin drive.
yeah, to pay out the climax, that makes sense.
How many go back?
I'm going back in with. I'll count for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Cool. Which
Also
one's
7 back in for Jamie here.
I am missing.
But he's missing the burn.
So my ratios make this awkward to count.
Yeah. Okay, is there a choice? Is there a
It's
shot
the
missing?
second choice.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, it's a choice. That's
Yeah, so he doesn't have the choice.
Missing, yeah.
Oh, the one that's right at the bottom of the stock.
Yeah.
The main takeaway is that he doesn't have combo.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
I think ideally though he wants the
3, 2, 1.
combo, the burn climax
Trigger
for
check.
next turn.
Yep.
Trigger check.
If he gets another turn, ideally he wants to get his
1.
3 combo off, I think.
Refresh.
I think that's the only chance he really has.
Yeah.
I'm gonna uncle that.
Yeah, so the only concern is that, because he didn't contest the Union, the Yachio on his left is now at threat and he doesn't have the ability to encore it.
No clock.
And like I said before, like the card that Jamie really wants to see right now is the event.
I'll play the one of darkness.
I think if he can get there, he might be in a decent position to just steal the game, but I think it needs a lot of other stuff needs to go right.
Cool.
He also has no way to search it, unfortunately.
And the question is, how is Lee going to be able to get those 2 gates out of stock?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, he had the other one, okay.
Ditch the 3k backup.
Yep.
Stock.
Cool.
Yeah, that's having the second Aqua early play is really annoying for Jamie, because again, that contests his board, and he doesn't have the Sayaka in front of that level 3 to keep it alive. So he's dealing with 13k.
I'll give this on reverse bottom deck.
Yeah, sure.
And he's just bottom decking the other one.
I will
Deny the encore, yeah.
2.
Cancel on 1.
Yeah. And I'll put her on the bottom.
I assumed you would.
And all 8 going back.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, Jamie not having a climax last turn was really unfortunate. He could have maybe forced Lee to refresh with 6 instead of 8. And it might have given him a chance to stick some damage next turn.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think he's just had an upward battle for the game.
I'll go 2, 3, 1.
2, 3, 1.
It's failed me so far, so let's continue.
And I'll front for 12.5 and 2.
Sure. That is for 2 and 2 sticks.
It's looking dicey.
Darkness will direct for 3 in there's nothing to balance.
Oh.
That's lethal.
Someone.
It's not lethal. Okay.
Your turn.
The Yon gets over that easily.
That is unfortunately a shotgun.
Yep. Which means that there's only one left in the deck for him to draw here.
Mm-hmm. It's a very dangerous clock. So now he can just die to a random aqua burn.
At the same time, I think he had to go for it if he was looking for that shot, just to try and get through the damage.
Yeah. But again, you know, clocking to find a shot when the combo only heals once, you would need to be doing at least double combo for it to be worthwhile. Ideally triple combo, but he doesn't have the stock for that.
Did you do your top check this turn?
Oh, I actually didn't. Yeah, correct. I will top check and I will keep it, so it doesn't matter.
That's a climax then, yep.
1.
Yep.
Assuming he's not found the event either.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this is the thing, like, even if he has double combo now, like, it would put him on 3-3. But for the combo to work, Lee would have to cancel, so Lee would only be going to like 3-0 at most, which is still not enough of a... but it's not enough to catch up.
I'm afraid I don't really have a choice here but to do this. At this point.
Yep. You got the shot though.
I got the shot, that's true. I don't think it does anything, but I have the shot.
So at least Lee should be finishing on about 3-2 for it.
Let's go 3. Front, 4.
1, 2, 3. Cancel.
Burn 1, burn 1.
Burn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Burn 1. Level up. Take yellow.
And then heal, sorry, off of the cancel.
That's fine.
We'll go front for 3, and that's a choice. And that's a very difficult choice to make. I'll just shove another combo in my hand.
Okay.
That's just for 3.
1. Cancel.
I'll heal 1.
Burn 1.
Burn 1.
Yeah, so he's getting chip damage through, so he's evening up. The problem is that I think Lee has all the pieces he needs.
Yeah.
So we're draining
I'm
it.
smaller. Yeah. Oh, same. Yep, sorry. Trigger check twice. That's for 2. A choice.
That's not good either.
Oh no.
That's now 7 out. I counted right there.
Yeah.
And just for 2.
I think the question is, if Lee has another copy of the Darkness Climax Swapper to get that gate back, and you can get the Mega Man, I think the game's over.
1, 2, 3. Take the gate.
Yep. He just needs this Climax Swapper now. Because at this point, the Aqua combo isn't hitting anything, so it's not going to burn.
The Aqua not burn on no climax.
It is, you're right.
So it's just straight damage now.
Sure.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Especially because he bottom deck kicked the 3-2.
Oh, there's still 2 in there. Both of those are in there. Okay, well, hopefully 1 will be enough.
Yeah, there's not a lot that Lee has to engineer this turn.
Question is, will he go for style points by playing the Mega Man and using the Mega Man and Union combo?
I'll play heal.
Yep.
500 for every other.
So I think we know that Lee doesn't have the combo for it.
Pay 1 on attack. Put the bottom 2 cards in my opponent's deck in the waiting room. If there's no climaxes, burn 1, burn 1.
Yep.
And then I'll just throw out a brainstorm here.
Sure.
I'll give Yonion the bottom deck.
Oh, he did have it.
And then I'll front for 1, 2, 3, 3, and a salvage. I'll salvage an aqua.
3, 6.
Put that on the bottom.
He just goes for the aqua here, and that should be it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're back. Did you put the level 3 on the bottom?
It was, yeah, it was on the bottom, yeah.
I could still see the level 3 in play.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, because this is guaranteed.
And I'll
Yeah.
Burn one, burn one.
pay 1. Bottom 2
Bottom 2,
should be clean.
you know what they are.
'cause I
Yep.
Burn 1, burn
Yeah.
1.
And that's
Burn one.
game.
Cancelled.
That's the last one? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, GG. GG.
Alright, so if you guys bear with us for just a moment, we will
Yeah, I knew this matchup was
quickly get swapped
almost
over and have a chat with the players about the games.
as soon as I saw it was Konosuba, I was like, god damn it. God damn it.
The one thing I was
Alright, so what I think we're going to do, guys, is have a chat about your deck lists, get the players' insight. So let me just quickly reset your audio levels. So I think we'll start with Lee.
Yep.
So congratulations on the win. Like I said before, Konosuba is a very straightforward deck. It's pretty well suited for a technical player such as yourself. What were your initial thoughts going to this matchup?
I was quite happy with this matchup. As I was just saying to Jamie, the only thing that can cause me trouble based on his deck list is at level 1. If he gets a wall of the bottom deck bomb out, it can make things awkward when I'm trying to chain off level 1 Megamins turn after turn.
Mm-hmm.
But apart from that, as soon as we get into level 2, my early plays can just start taking over the field and then go from there.
Yeah, like one thing that we were saying in the commentary early on is that Madoka has this very medium-paced, almost grind-like game to it, which is not ideal because Konosuba is well known for having this explosive finish. You can either go with big burns out of nowhere, or it can foreclosure into a force refresh on you, and it's just very hard to stabilize if the game gets out of hand, which is what we saw there.
Yep.
So one thing that we definitely noticed is that somewhere in the mid game you had 2 turns of back-to-back triple cancels. Would you agree that was fairly quite a deal breaker in that matchup?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, my deck just decided it didn't want to take damage through that earlier mid game. There was one slight window where I triggered 2 of my last 3 climaxes when I was at level 2 for him to try and get back into the game, but I think I cancelled the biggest swing of the lot that turn.
Yeah, the first swing for 4, he went through that, so you were able to replay a healer and heal the pair out the climaxes, which is pretty handy. Yeah, especially the fact that, because Konosuba, your deck in particular, doesn't really care about the board, it makes it very hard for Jamie to build up his advantage and get through his deck quick enough to to beat over your early plays, which he had the ability to do. It just, by that point, he was playing at a damage deficit, so it's kind of hard. Would you then say that for this particular matchup, or I think everyone would agree that Konosuba is a fairly uninteractive deck in general. Would you say the fact that Jamie's deck didn't get the opportunity to put on very much pressure is what led you to snowball that lead, as it were?
Definitely, I'd say so. Because he had that awkward 0 turn, I built up a nice surplus of stock starting from level 0, and once you get that amount of stock at level 0, you can just snowball that through into level 1, and then it also gives me a resource to play more than one early play and still have enough stock to run through my deck, do all my searches and everything, and set up the level 3 turn at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, so is there anything else you'd like to say to the people watching on stream, or any other comments?
Just looking forward to playing in the rest of the tournament. I'm glad my deck decided to play ball on stream and looking for Jamie. And yeah, that's it really. Shout out to the boys.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Congratulations and best of luck in the rest of the tournament.
Thank you.
All right. So let's switch over to Jamie's deck list, which we're seeing on stream here. So again, commiserations, Jamie. I guess it wasn't in the fates for you today.
I had a feeling that I would probably lose this matchup, to be entirely honest. I think when I looked through the deck lists for what was being played, Konosuba and Saikano were the only two decks that I really didn't want to come up against, and I hit one on round 2, so I guess I'll just take that.
Yeah, like we mentioned, his deck is very uninteractive, whereas your deck is very board reliant. So actually, I just want to talk about that real quick. So Chris mentioned just before we started that, Madoka feels very poorly placed in the meta right now because it's so reliant on those level 1 combos that many decks are now very good at denying. And it's also trying to play this, slower, grindier game. Like, you're pinging for 1, you're healing 1 every now and again. You've got the event that is, very incremental advantage rather than this big swingy advantage like Konosuba does. And so do you think that was, are you feeling that? Is that like something that's prominent that you're seeing as you play?
To an extent. I feel the Felicia needing to combo is pretty relevant at level 1. If you can't really get that off many times, then you generally struggle. I feel like this game especially, if I had managed... My main problem was that I had to throw my Suicider and my Brainstormer under the bus on round 2 because I drew no zeros.
Yeah.
And the Brainstormer plus your level 0 that goes to stock is basically the entire point of this deck. The fact that I had to throw my only Brainstormer under the bus, have it die, and I just didn't draw another one until maybe nearly mid-level 2 or something, that made it really awkward. I feel like the deck is slightly better than people think. But yeah, the Felicia combo is... the level 1 is definitely the worst part of this set, by far.
Yeah, like we were mentioning, Lee said himself, there was a window for you at level 1 where if you had hit level 1 first, you could have fielded a board of Yachio reverse bombs, which would have made it very awkward for his Megamin combo. And then when you hit level 2, there was a chance for you to make your early plays and contest his board because he was stuck at 1-6 and couldn't make Aquas to reverse your board back. But unfortunately, we didn't really see you capitalize on that. Is there anything else you want to add on to that?
Yeah, I felt like in this matchup especially, the 1-0 Yachio bomb was probably the key. Unfortunately, I only managed to find one of it before I was level 1. I guess that's the way it goes sometimes. And I felt like it actually did decent amount of work when I had it out, but there wasn't really any way I could recover from the 6 cancels in a row after that.
Yeah.
That kind of set me back a little bit too far, especially with a deck that wants to kind of get ahead at level 2 and stay ahead, and if I fall behind that early, that hard, there's almost no way to catch up.
Yeah, it's very difficult. So, looking back on it in hindsight, do you think there's anything you could have maybe done differently or approached differently?
That's a tough one. I feel like maybe I should have just ditched my entire hand for my mulligan, because not drawing any zeros was probably the main thing that set me back this game. Giving Lee the extra 2 turns to build stock and just compress really hard kind of hurt me a lot. So
yeah,
I feel like deck wise, I would probably take out the level 2 anti-change and put in a sack counter instead. But this deck is also very low on stock, so this set just kind of sucks. That's my if I was to do this event again, I would play a good deck. That's my take.
Well, I mean, you are one of 2 people playing Madoka, so props to you. And it's a deck that we don't see very often, and especially, I remember when the set was first revealed, when the spoilers first came out, a lot of prominent might not be the right word to use, but lots of players who are very well known in the community, let's say, threw out some opinions that were less than ideal. So I think, the fact that you still chose to play this is, deserves to be commended in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, you got to stick with what you love, really.
Yeah. So actually, talking about the deck choice a little bit more then, because the deck does interest me. Without wanting to go too much into detail about what the other Madoka players play in this event, talk to me about the climax lineup. Why did you choose to go 4-2-2 instead of just 4-4?
Shot is terrible. That's my main reason. This deck really struggles to build stock, and I felt like having the extra option of the 2 choice to build the stock, at least in testing, it proved a lot better than just triggering these random shots. The game plan doesn't really rely on the shot too much. Most of the time, you're just going to triple field the Surano without actually having combo, and that's normally fine because you can stall at 2 and stay ahead by free freshing and recycling your deck. But when it doesn't work, it really, really doesn't work.
All right. So, again, thanks for being on. Thanks for having a chat with us. Once again, commiserations, and hopefully good luck on the rest of your tournament.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, guys. So, with that, I think we're going to take a quick pause. We're going to try and set up the quote-unquote third features match, which wasn't very much planned, but since I'm already streaming and I still have my game to play, we're going to try and put that on for you. So you guys hang tight. We'll try and get that launched as soon as we can.